we need a couple of tumbling tower blocks, and like I always say, you can buy them at the Dollar Tree, Dollarama, and of course here in the Netherlands you can buy them at the Action. I bought this one in a garden center here in the Netherlands. They had a big sale from those tumbling tower blocks, so I am really happy. I only paid €1 for each package, so I am really happy with it. So I can make lots and lots more DIYs with my favorite tumbling tower blocks. So let's start this DIY. The first step what we're going to do to make our little bit of an old rustic sleigh. I just call it sleigh. You know what I mean. This is a Christmas sled, if I am correct. But here in the Netherlands, that means a totally different word. So I am going to say just sleigh. So you know at least some Dutch word in this DIY. I'm going to make 5 rows of 3. And I'm going to do them a little glue on the top and just glue them together. Just try to get them as even as you can. And of course, on this one. And this is already one of them. And I will make 5 of these pieces of 3. Of course, if you don't want to see how I make it, just skip forward and go further to the next step. But for everyone who enjoys seeing how I do it, of course I am really happy that you stay, and it gives at least a little time to chat. I always say, but I don't know if you are ready for that. And you see already this also, the blocks are not totally even, but I hear from a lot of you that the blocks even from Dollar Tree or Dollarama are not always even. So it's not only here in the Netherlands, but it is everywhere. And it makes sometimes your DIY a little bit difficult because you are counting on that everything is in the same measurement, but like I said, it isn't. So this is number 4 already. And like I always say in every DIY we make, remove your glue immediately. You see already my glue gun is already smoking. I don't know if you can see it, but he is already smoking a lot. So I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, but most of the time nothing happens. So, and he is wireless. So if you are curious where this glue gun is from, he is just a simple cheap one from the Lidl or Lidl, just how you call it. And he was only, if I'm correct, 18 or 13 euros, and that's similar like your dollars. So they are very easy. So I have 5 of my pieces for the top of my sleigh, and you see already I have some glue over here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to lay one forward, and I'm going to glue this 2 and this one against each other, but on the same length, but a little bit lower. You see this way, but this one and this one we are going to do on the same length. Of course, I'm going to glue a little piece, but not totally to the underside, because or else we will have glue, and just squeeze it and just keep it in place for a little moment. Now we're going to do this one also, and we're just going to do it on top of here and lay it again on the same length that you did the other one, and squeeze it again. And you see now we already have this part, and we are going to take the other 2 and we're going to do again a little bit lower, and also over here some glue. And now we're going to do this one this height, and this one will be on the same one. And again, of course, I need some glue, and we're going to glue this one. Then we already almost have our top of our sleigh, and I have to squeeze it because most of the time not immediately your glue is dried up. And you see this is already the top of our sleigh. What I'm going to do, because we are going to make 2 over here, and we are going to make 2 over here. And maybe I only do the top, and what you can do, you can even do it the same length. So, and I'm going to have to cut off a little bit over here. So I don't know what I do. I will do it this way or just maybe this way. I think I like this way a little bit better. So I have to saw out a little piece of this one. Before I did go saw my piece out, I always have a little bag with little pieces. I always leftovers I keep, because you never know when you're going to need it, and I love using everything you have. So I'm going to use this one, a little piece of this one, and again a little piece of this one, and this is really totally fitting. So I am keeping it with this too. So I'm going to glue a little bit on top, because I always like to make use what you have. So again, squeeze it, remove the glue, and of course I have to get it lower, and we are going to do this top, and we are going to squeeze this one against each other. So, and you see now you also have one piece which is fitting for over here. I still need to get out some glue, and now we're going to glue it. I think maybe this height. I will show to you this way. You can do it any way you want. This is just an example. Do whatever you think it's right, but I'm going to do one over here, and I'm going to make also one over here, but I'm going to glue this one first, and just this way. And I'm going to, I think I keep this length, and I'm going to try to get it as straight as I can. So you see, this is already one piece. I'm going to go for the second one. Also the second one will be a 3-piece, 2 little smaller ones and 1 bigger one. Again, squeeze it. And we are going to do the last piece, and we are going to place this against each other. And what I'm going to do, because I think it looks a little bit better if I don't do this on the same length. You see already, now I have both 2 smaller blocks over here, and I think maybe it's better this time just to turn it over and just go for this size. So I'm going to glue this one over here, and again just do some glue on the back, and we are going to place it. I still feel, now I think I'm going to do it over here, and just keep it in place. And I have to look if the sides are straight, and they are. You see, this is already one piece of our sleigh. Of course, what we are going to need, we need the underside of our sleigh. I call it underside. Probably you have a better name for it. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to do 4 pieces on top of each other, because they need to come out on the top and on the bottom. So we need 4. At first I was thinking about 3, but then they don't, you see already, then they don't come out. So at least I need 4. So I'm going to make 4 on top of each other, the same way like we did the 3-piece. Again, just glue it together. And again, you see already, I'm stuck to the glue. But I think I'm not the only one which is stuck on the glue. But with me, it's always a little bit of chaos. I'm sorry. I'm always try to start my video with lots of things that I should have done better. But every time I am getting in the most difficult situations because the camera is running. But that way you even see how a DIY also can go wrong or different or something else. I like to show you everything what's happening. Of course, there are people who have much better cameras, much better things to use, but I always keep it the way you have it, most of you at home. So this is more a realistic way to see how DIYs are going. So this is one. Now we're going to do the last one. And this is one. And again, squeeze it. And we're going to do the other one. I need to get away of my glue. And number 3. Again, squeeze it. And get it out of your placemat. That's also a thing. And the last one. And then we already have the underside almost of our sleigh. But of course we need some in-betweens. And this one. So now you already have the under sides of our sleigh. And of course you can lay it on top of here this way, but you also can do, what we can do is just put 2 pieces in between. I have to look if I like it, so I'm going to glue 2 together and we will see if this will work or not, or that we are just going to glue it on top of the stands. You see, you can do it this way. We are going to lay it down, and then then you can do it this way, or you can do them a little bit on top of each other this way. I don't know what I like better. I don't know, or if I like it better just this way. I have to think about it, or maybe I just do little blocks, one over here, one over here, one over here, one over here. I mean those little blocks I showed you. But I take 4 of this one. Maybe if I do 1 over here and 1 over here, don't mind the measurement. This is just a try, and just place it in between so we can get it a little bit closer. I have to look if this is fitting. And now we're getting a little bit more height inside of our sleigh. So I have to think about it a little bit, but now you also get a little opening over here. And that's what we want. So you see, I did figure out what for me at least is the best way. I'm going to, like I said, we have the 2 of the 4 and we're going to place it over here. I take 4 pieces of the half blocks. You see already, this is the half of 1 tumbling tower block. So if you are having a little hand saw, you can saw 2 little blocks on half. I tried this one, but this is not working. So I'm going to do just half blocks, and I'm going to glue 1 on the half of both of these blocks. So this way, I show it to you a little bit better. Just I have to do it this way. You see here halfway, and the other one will be at straight on that line. You see, on the line of the other one. So you see, then you have them in the position you need them to have your sleigh on top. So I'm going to do this one halfway and just try to get them in the middle and squeeze it. And of course I have to get it straight. And I have to remove my glue, or else I don't get it away anymore. And this one we are going to do on the straight line. We're going to do this way. And I'll show to you in a moment a little bit better. You see, now I have one of them already glued together. You can see the lines. Even when already there's some glue, but I think you know exactly now where they have to be. I'm going to do this one again, halfway. And this one we are going to do on the straight line again. And this one, now we have both of the layers under on the same length. This way. So you see 2 of them. Sorry, it takes a little bit longer because this is the first one I make this sleigh. I made an other sleigh, a little bit of an old-fashioned sleigh, and he is already, of course, also on my channel. But this one of the first DIYs I started with. So if you want to see them, of course, I can also place a link down below in my description box for the video. So I'm going to glue this one a little bit this way on top of here. I have to remove it a little bit, and then we're going to see how the sleigh is turning out. So I'm going to turn over my sleigh. Of course, I need to make sure my under piece is straight. So I'm going to turn it over, do some glue on this side, some glue on this side, and then I'm going to turn it over and just go ahead and lay it down in the same length as you did your sleighs. Of course, place it on the sideways and just squeeze it, then you can get a nicer effect. So of course you can do it the way it's turned over, and you see this is what you get. And now I'm going to remove again the glue. I can't say it enough. I know I am sounding just like some or a bird of in the net we call it a papegaai. So don't mind that, but I can't say it enough because you see already later it's a little bit more difficult to get it away. So this is one. We are going to do the second one. Do some glue over here, some glue over here. And we're going to again turn it over, and we are going to place it again on top of here. And again, I'm going to squeeze it. And now I hope he has the same length as the other one. We will see. And again, clean it up. I show it to you in a moment. You see? Now we already have a first piece of our sleigh, but I still need, I think this one is a little bit too short. But if I do another one on top of here, you see already it will be much too long. So what I was thinking, again, a half block, and again this one on top of here. And then he looks a little bit nicer because he's then a little bit longer. So I'm going for that the ends are a little bit longer. So I'm going to glue 2 of them over here. Of course, you don't have to do it. This is just something I like. So I'm going to glue this, and I'm going to glue the other one. And again on top. I have to get it straight. This way. And now we already have the base of our sleigh. The only thing I didn't think about was because I will make a second one, but of course we still need to paint it. So this is, of course, this is a little bit harder to paint, but if you like rustic, you can do it totally in the furniture racks. Then you have a nice rustic sleigh. But of course, if you want to paint it, it's a little bit harder. Then you're supposed to do it a little bit earlier. Maybe I will do that with the second one. So we will see. But this is already our first sleigh, and you can already lean it against something else. Of course, we still need to work with it and do maybe a little tag inside of here, just on my computer. But for now, this is already our first easy and fast making sleigh.
Something could be a day haunted by you, haunted by you.
see already both of our little sleighs are finished. What I'm going to do right now, I chose for, I was first thinking about doing them totally into the waxing color, but of course I use, Jacqueline asked me what kind of brand I use for wax, and this is just a simple brand from a store here in the Netherlands, but it is just simple furniture wax, the same you are doing your furniture with. So it's very cheap, and of course I like cheap, so I always use this brand. And I'm going to use some white chalk paint for distressing both of my sleighs, and of course later on I will distress it with some wax. So but first it's very simple. Just take a little bit of the white chalk paint, take a piece of kitchen towel and just dab it off the most of your paint, and just go over little pieces, not everything, just little pieces of your sleigh. But of course if you want to paint it totally in the white color or in the red color, black color, everything is fine. This is just the way I like it, but you don't have to do what I do. This, like I always say, this is just an example. So I will do this one out of camera, and then I show you how both of them are looking like. Both of our sleighs are in the white chalk paint. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my wax and I'm going to do mainly the same way I did with my chalk paint. Just do some furniture wax on top of it, or some staining, just what you use. And if you don't like distressing, just no. Just don't do it. I love a little bit of the rustic touch on it, so I'm just going to take little pieces on the end, not the whole sleigh, but just to give it a little bit more of an old feeling. And you see here, just the edges, the little sides, all over here. You don't have to do too much, but it gives a little bit more of an older look. And I love the rustic touch. So I will do both of them, and then we're going to do the next step. You see already both of my sleighs are in the furniture wax and in the chalk paint, and they are almost dry. What I'm going to do, I'm going to, of course, we need a rope on top of our sleigh. You can use a little bit of a thicker rope, but I am going to, for the little bit more of the brown color, what I'm going to do, I take 3 pieces of the same length, and I chose this length. It's a little bit of 30 centimeters, so I did 3 times. So you see already 3 times the same length. And what I do, on the inside, I'm going to do a little knot, a very simple one, totally on the end. This way, you see, just a simple, just move your way down to the other side and do a knot over there. And then, of course, you have to cut it in same length. So now you have 2 knots on each side. What I'm going to do, I'm going to double them up and do it this way. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little bit over here, that you get a loop on top. And I'm going to do some glue on here and a little piece of twine, and I'm going to turn it around. But I have to look if everything, because I want to glue them on the sides. And we are going to measure out a little bit in the middle like this. And now we are going to do here our twine, and we do it, that's very simple. Just do some glue on top. Take a little piece of twine and lay it on top of here. Let it dry for a little moment. Of course, remove the glue because I'm already under my glue. Wait a couple of seconds. cut off a little piece because you don't need everything, and just lay it sideways and just turn it around, and not very tight, just loose around it until you are on the end. And then you are going to glue this piece on the end. I have to secure it a little bit better, of course, this way. And now I'm going to turn it over, do some glue, and lay that end piece inside of the glue. Wait a second, of course. And now you get a nice loop on top, and the sides will be over here, so you get a nice loop, and you can even hang your little sleigh. So I will make the second one also, and then we're going to glue it. Of course, I can glue it already one together with you. I will lay this apart. Just do some glue on this side and on this side, because you want to have them even, and just lay them sideways and against each other. Keep it in place for a little moment. Remove the glue you don't need, and this way. And now you already have your own little hanger for your sleigh, and of course you can use them in your tree if you don't want to use them as a decor piece. So I will do the other one also, and then we're going to make a little picture for inside of here.
It's just what I noticed. Something could be out there, haunted by you, haunted by you.
And here you see the print we just made. I did it in the brown color and in the white color, but now I already have my sleigh with it, and I am going for the white color. Of course, you can get these free printables in our free printables link. I will cut them out, and then I'm going to Mod Podge them in between here, so they are really finished. So I did cut out my little prints. What I'm going to do some Mod Podge on the back side, and just place it in between on our sleigh. But of course you can do anything different. If you like something different better, just go ahead, do whatever you think is right. I'm going to place it in between, and I try to get it as even as I can, like this way. You see, now he's already turned into this, and I am really loving this. But of course, like I said, you see it backwards, but that's just my telephone, so don't worry. In the reveal you see the right way. So I really loving this little kind of prints always. So I'm going to do the second one, and then you see the end reveal. Before I show you the reveal, I really have to tell you that, of course, you see the print are already on top of here, but I think the lines of the print are a little bit too sharp. You can see them too much because we distressed our sleigh, and now this is really just sticking on top of there. So I'm really going to take my furniture wax again. I'm going to do a little smaller pencil, and I'm just going to do some wax on top and just wipe it off just as much as I can. So it will be only a couple of pieces, and now I'm going to go over the lines of our print, so it looks a little bit more like he's blending in, because or else I think the lines are a little bit too sharp. But of course, if you don't mind, and if you don't find it a problem, then just leave it to that. But I'm really going to go for a little bit more rustic. So, and now you are going to see the end.